So you're racing motocross. Do you venture out of Delta? Do you go to Milan, Tiffin? Where are you racing at?
So, like I said, Delta's my first racetrack. First race I had. This is a pretty cool story, actually.
Please share.
It's on film. My mom filmed this. So,
is it on YouTube?
Not yet. We can put it on there.
Put it on YouTube. We'll link it.
We can put it on there. So, everybody's familiar with the old start at Delta.
Yep.
Back then, it would go take a quick right and a quick left, go over the tabletop on the edge of the property and down. Never done a gate drop in my life, ever. So I'm on the gate, I'm all pumped up, got this CR 125 singing, and man, first race in my life, and I'm like a wheel or two ahead of these people. I forgot to turn. I went straight right into the black hole. And I took out about 7 people with me. Yeah. And I'm sure that someone might be listening to this and may have been
one
involved.
of those
They
people.
may have been involved with that wreck, but I took out at least 7 bikes. And no fire. Nobody caught fire that night. But
is that a story that we should hear, like catching fire? Or what is that about?
That's for another time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's second part two.
Oh, part 2.
That's part 2. We got to get
That's
a little more.
That's the
comfortable
bonus
first.
footage. Is that what that is?
Put some disclaimers out
So
there.
you bowling alleyed your way to the start.
I not on purpose. I pushed my way what I thought was to the front, and by the time I realized people were turning, it was too late.
Right.
I took out half the pack.
Did anybody come up to you and go, "What in the Sam hell were you thinking?"
There were people in that race that are customers of mine this day.
Wow. Can you believe that?
And they talk about it. They're like, "What happened?"
That's some funny marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to gain customers, just mow them over.
It was all due to suspension.
Yeah.
If you would have had good suspension back there, you would have no problem.
I'm just trying to get a glimpse of how your forks are, but by the way, I'm gonna take you out.
How did they rebound after I hit you?
Yep.
It's, you know what, those things happen.
Yeah.
I'm at a GNCC 1997. I hit the scoring barrel. Okay. I come in, I pull up too close to they got a barrel and you write your score down to your lap or whatever. I pull up too close. I go to put my left foot down. My foot hits the barrel. I knock the barrel over with the woman doing the scoring, and right in front of the pro pits. Talk about, I just wanted to quit and go back and cry in the box.
You never forget that one.
And she gets up. Of course, she's not real happy. I was on a Yamaha, and Fred Andrews had the, whatever team it was. I forget the name of the dealership over there now. But anyway, it was a Fred Andrews Yamaha team, and she says, "Fred, is this one of your guys?" And he goes, "Nope, not one of mine." She is terrible. Anyway, we all have a
We all have
a little
Dad's heading
story.
the other direction.
Yes, yeah. My dad's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So what year was this that you started with a different bike? When you started getting really serious?
I wasn't serious yet. I thought
Okay.
I was in my head.
Well,
Yeah.
you seriously took out some people, so that's pretty serious.
I've taken out a few people in my day.
Yes.
Never on purpose.
Okay.
It's always an accident.
That's what he told me.
So anyway, I would say that was 2003, maybe 2003, I think.
Okay. Now you're out of school.
Nope, I was maybe a freshman in high school, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my first year on a 125. We packed up, put our tail between our legs, and went home and regrouped. My dad told me, he goes, "I'm not taking you back to the racetrack till you learn how to turn." And he wasn't kidding. I went out back in the backyard and I practiced turns. Yeah. Yep. Hairpins for the most part.
Yep.
Mostly hair turn. Yeah.
That's the part of the racing, right?
Yeah.
Everybody can go fast straight. I can even go fast
Jumps
straight.
for show, turns for dough.
Yep.
Yep.
I can go fast straight.
Yeah.
Just stopping and turning and
Yeah, it's all the other stuff.
standing up is my problem.
It's all the, navigating the turn.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
So you went back, still in high school. Do you start doing competitive while you're in high school, or did it take a while?
Am I competitive right now? That's the real question.
We know that. That's part two.
Did I
again.
ever get competitive?
So was you doing more races while you're still in high school?
Yeah. So I would say the turning point, and we'll kind of jump back to this probably later in the podcast, but I bought this 125. It was, like I said, it was a 97 CR 125. I bought it in 01. I think I had it a year or two. So I probably started racing in 02. And it was worn out. I went through a couple top ends. It had a pro circuit cylinder that wasn't matched right to the power valves. I learned a lot on that bike. I learned a lot about motor building, which was cool. But really the turning point of that bike, I kept building this motor and I never realized how bad the suspension was. And a good friend of mine, John Magada, he lived in Bowling Green. He basically told me, he goes, hey, your issue's the shock and fork. I said, okay.
He was a racer, Mitch?
Long time, yeah. His roots were deep in Bowling Green. I think District 12 or District 11.
Okay.
Went to Loretta's a lot. Yeah, the guy, he was a very good racer in his time.
So he knew what he was talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the guy was, well versed in motocross in Ohio.
Okay.
So we basically, he told me what I needed. I think he charged me $150 to rebuild this suspension from the ground up, and I took it out there. I took it out there the next race, and I hit the first jump, and I remember the feeling. I was ready to bottom out because the bike would just completely collapse as soon as you hit the ground, and
Right.
It was just smooth as butter.
Yeah.
I said, hey, man, you should start a suspension shop. He said, oh, I travel too much. I can't do that. So anyway, that was the turning point for me. That was when I started to really ride the motorcycle. I couldn't ride the bike until the suspension was right. And as soon as he set it up right, I could feel the ground. I knew how to put the bike into a turn and work it out of it. So, and then obviously it jumped better too.